Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and welcome back to the Chi-Town Sports Podcast. Today, we have an upload about Notre Dame's top 25 2022 recruiting class targets. These are guys who are not committed anywhere, no flips, no decommits, no just commits. They're all targets, undecided from across the country, and I'm going to be sharing them live with you here in a second. First off, please like, subscribe, share. It means a lot. We're at 22 subscribers, reaching 25 by December, 30 by 2021 would be huge, would be awesome, and I greatly appreciate a subscription from you. It only takes one click of a button. But here we go. I'm going to be sharing my screen, taking a look at this Google document I made with the rivals' profiles. Here we go. Really quickly, if you don't know how Rivals works, you have the Mine category. I subscribe to Blue and Gold Illustrated, so I can make my own fan future cast. So these are affected by Mine. I probably do 75% Notre Dame, but I'll occasionally throw in another school just to be with the culture, if you know what that means. And yeah, so I guess make a little bit of a difference. I mean, most people don't really look at that. You care about the future cast from the publishers and analysts, but nevertheless, it matters a little bit, I guess. We'll start with Zach Rice, the 6'6", plus 300-pound offensive tackle from Lynchburg, backyard of Liberty. He goes to Liberty Christian High School, Virginia Tech, UNC, even Liberty, Ohio State, Notre Dame, all making a big push. I had Zach Rice currently. I think Notre Dame's going to end up with him. It's going to be Notre Dame, UNC, and Ohio State, I think, in the top three, but we will see. William Johnson, the cornerback from Grosse Pointe, Michigan, just outside of Detroit. Top three are looking like Michigan at 1, LSU at 2, Notre Dame at 3 right now. Yes, Notre Dame is top 3 and a 5-star defensive back. I know it's a little bit of a shocker, but William Johnson cares about athletics, but he also cares about academics a good bit, and that's what Notre Dame wants. He's a Notre Dame fit. I just don't know if the close-to-home narrative of Michigan playing in the Big House will sway him away from South Bend. Tenaroa McMillan, I probably butchered that name. It's the first time I've said his name. He's a 6'4", 185, very skinny wide receiver from Anaheim, Servette High School. Currently in my future cast pick in for him. 56% of his future cast picks are leaning towards him ending up in South Bend. That's a very positive sign. Notre Dame has not done a 5-star wide receiver other than Jordan Johnson, maybe ever. So this would be a huge pickup for Notre Dame. Kevin Coleman, wide receiver / athlete from St. Louis, Missouri. A lot of his fan future casts are from Missouri. Doubt he ends up there. I'm like in Alabama, Florida State, Notre Dame, maybe Oregon. I think he's going to end up south or at a big-time powerhouse around the country, Ohio State, Penn State. 2 more of those. Jashawn Bartham. Sorry, I'm going fast really quickly, guys. I just have 25, and I got class in T-minus 8 minutes. Jashawn Bartham, Baltimore, Maryland, outside linebacker. I like him going to Maryland, which is not a very, I don't know a word for it, but not a very heavy pick. Maryland has not had very good recruiting classes. Of course, Talia Tagovailoa just had a nuts game against Minnesota. They play here on Saturday, T-minus 2 days. This is Thursday at around noon, the time of this recording. But I like him going to Maryland, staying home. If he doesn't go to Maryland, look for him to go to a powerhouse school out west or in the south. I don't like Notre Dame's odds here. Caleb Brown, wide receiver / athlete from St. Rita, Chicago. I bet next year I'll be out covering his games, which would be pretty cool. I'd like to see him and Tyler Morris, maybe even Sebastian Cheeks in action, doing a story, writing about them. I like him going to Michigan, though, as of right now. He's a Michigan favorite on 247 Rivals, wherever you can find your recruiting news. No future cast picks, which kind of surprises me. E.J. Holland, what's going on, but they'll put one in there soon. I like Caleb Brown going to Michigan. Notre Dame coming in a close second. Joe Bruner, offensive tackle, might be playing guard or center in college from Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin. That's a cool name. Lives close to Madison. Bet he goes to Madison. I put my pick in there. I think Notre Dame's going to come up second in his recruitment. Ohio State and Michigan are also making pushes, as they should. But I like Joe Bruner ending up in Madison, Wisconsin. Keenan Nelson Jr., the cornerback from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, goes to St. Joseph's, a very good school. Penn State, Oregon are the two clear front runners. This was a hard pick to make. Most people have them going to Penn State, but I don't know. We've seen these East Coast kids going out west to Oregon. Dante Thornton weeks ago from Baltimore, the high 4-star wide receiver, might end up as a 5-star. And I like Keenan Nelson Jr. doing the same. Tyler Morris, number 9 target. I like him going to Michigan. Not as much, though, as Caleb Brown. I think Tyler Morris is a little more laid-back personality. And I think with J.J. McCarthy not playing the senior year, leaving Nats Academy where he goes to school, Tyler Morris, Notre Dame might make a big push at him, show him his options. Julian Love, current Giants DB, went to Nazareth Academy in LaGrange Park, Illinois. And hopefully he's doing some under-the-ground recruiting there. Notre Dame's definitely going to recruit Tyler Morris hard. Sebastian Cheeks, I can near promise you I'll end up at one of this guy's games. Outside linebacker from Evanston. I believe he attends Evanston Township High School, Patrick Engel's old stomping grounds, and Dave Revson. Actually, no, Dave Revson did not go there, excuse me. Pretty much everyone has been going to Notre Dame. I do as well. There's a very famous photo, I wouldn't say famous, but notable photo of him and Ian Book post a Notre Dame game on his visit. I believe it might have been the Boston College game, in the locker room. And I like Sebastian Cheeks to end up at Notre Dame. Jacob Allen, offensive tackle from Princeton, New Jersey, goes to the Hun School, a very good school out there. 6'5", 270, needs to put on some more weight. But I like him going to Notre Dame. Recruiting has been not blowing up for him, taking it slow, wants to get all his visits in, completely understandable. I think Jacob Allen will be a kid to commit late, but I think he's a kid Notre Dame will recruit all the way through. Top 85 prospect. He just seems like a Notre Dame fit. Wilfredo Abar, weak side defensive end from Cheshire Academy, another very good school in Cheshire, Connecticut. People have him going to Ohio State, Notre Dame. I actually made the tie here. He was previously a little bit of a fan Futurecast lead to Ohio State, but let's not pay too much attention to that. I think Notre Dame will end up with his commitment. Mike Ellison does a great job recruiting those D linemen. Cheshire Academy is very similar to a Notre Dame atmosphere, which wins out some of these Notre Dame recruits. Jaden Thomas goes to Pace Academy, similar setting to Notre Dame. These nice private schools in the Northeast translate very well to Notre Dame, and I think that will end up persuading Wilfredo Abar to come to South Bend, Indiana for his college career. Nicholas Singleton, 5'11", 191-pound running back from Shillington, Pennsylvania. I like him ending up at Notre Dame too. It's going to be very tight, very tight. Penn State, Ohio State could easily grab him. I was questioning my Fan Futurecast pick on him, but I ended up pulling the trigger and doing so. Top 3, though, is pretty much set. Penn State, Ohio State, and Notre Dame are clearly in the lead right now, and I doubt that changes. Xavier Nkwapa, Nwan Kappa. Follow his TikTok. It's always bussin'. He's a funny kid. 6'2", 185-pound safety from Southeast Polk High School in Pleasant Hill, Iowa. I like him going to Notre Dame. Fan Futurecast and Futurecast doesn't say so. He loved his visit. Took one over the fall. Debated making him the thumbnail. We'll see if I end up doing so. But I like Xavier Nkwapa going to Notre Dame, which is not a very highly agreed with pick right now. But we'll see what happens. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. Carson Hintzman, center, something Notre Dame has struggled recruiting. Lost the likes of Greg Crippen this year. Carlos Hintzman would make a big difference. A lot of people have him going to Wisconsin. I do as well, but I didn't have enough confidence to put in my Futurecast, which is a good sign, Notre Dame fans. I think Notre Dame's definitely in his top 2. I think some Southern SEC schools will go after him as well as Big Ten, the Big Ten royalties: Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan. yada yada. Billy Scruff. I thought he was committing to Notre Dame a few weeks ago. Pulled the trigger, said a big announcement was coming. It ended up being a top 4 weeks later. I like Billy Scruff still going to the Irish. I dislike that it's still hanging on, but let the kid think it out. He is just a junior, 1 year older than me. And I like his odds. Future cast is 60% in for Notre Dame. The other 40% is Wisconsin, I believe. And the fan future cast is overwhelmingly in his favor for him to end up in South Bend. Jacob Sexton, the offensive tackle from Edmond Deer Creek High School in Oklahoma. Everyone has been going to Oklahoma. I do too. I think Notre Dame's going to finish a close second, but I think the hometown kid stays in the hometown state of Oklahoma. McKay Martinez, cornerback from Apopka, Florida, suburb of Orlando. It's really a toss-up. A lot of schools coming after him. Auburn, Clemson, Florida State. Bama might make a move here in a little while. Miami, Florida. Notre Dame's in the mix. Notre Dame hasn't done a great job recruiting Florida as well as I would hope, but this might be a big spark, and we'll see what Mike Mickens can do here. Number 19, Ty Chan, offensive tackle from Groton, Massachusetts, Lawrence Academy. I believe it's a boarding school. Don't quote me on that. He checks in at 6'6", 265 pounds. I have my fan future cast in for him, and Mike Singer is the only current future cast. He explained it in his Lucky Charms, or it might have been the Gold Standard. I think it was the Gold Standard post, which is a great segment he does over there at Blue and Gold Illustrated. Why he did it, and why he believes Ty Chan will end up in the blue and gold. KJ Miles, also known as Keith Miles Jr. I like him going to Notre Dame. A lot of fans do as well. Has 36 offers, which is a lot from a kid not even ranked inside the top 250 on Rivals. I think his stock rises. He is not getting a season in New Jersey. He's not playing fall football though. Believe it is postponed to spring, so that will definitely hurt him. But in a few years, I expect him to be inside the top 200. Jake Taylor, offensive tackle from Bishop Gorman High School. Bishop Gorman, one of their coaches, Nick Ferretti, played on Notre Dame for many years, got his degree from Notre Dame. Is a Fighting Irish alum and is talking to these kids a lot about why Notre Dame is where you should be. And I think that might end up persuading Jake Taylor away from Oklahoma. Oklahoma's been recruiting Jake Taylor very hard, but I think with Jacob Sexton committing to Oklahoma, maybe in the next few weeks or months, Jake Taylor will end up committing to South Bend, locking up his spot, and hopefully taking either a self-guided visit or an official visit. Stephen Angeli, quarterback, when the dead period ends, of course. Stephen Angeli, quarterback from Oradell, New Jersey, Bergen Catholic High School. Older brother was best friends with Clint Nelson, is what I've heard. Angeli loves Notre Dame. Believe he has not been on a visit yet, so this recruitment might play out a little bit longer than some Irish fans hope, just on the fact we don't know how long the dead period will last. Has 18 total offers right now. I'm pretty certain once he visits Notre Dame, he'll end up committing, but until then, we'll have to wait and see. Grant Bingham, offensive tackle from Paintsville, Kentucky. Notre Dame not too hot with Kentucky prospects, but they are with Grant Bingham. 6'6", 302-pounder. Went on a visit to Missouri. Not sure if he's been anywhere else. Definitely has not seen Notre Dame to my knowledge. I might be wrong there, though. I like Notre Dame here. I like Notre Dame here. Not for any specific reason, but just on the fact Notre Dame loves offensive tackles. I think Grant Bingham knows the importance of locking up your spot at a school like Notre Dame, where they constantly get out NFL draft picks and NFL caliber players. And I think he can end up being one of them, even ranked 35th in his offensive tackle positional group. Caleb Artis, defensive tackle from Queens, New York. Yes, he's from Queens. Last player from Queens I can remember going to Notre Dame. What's his name? 2012. Pulling up 247. I'm sorry. Come on, Brad. He was a 5-star. Maybe it was not 2012. Was it earlier? I cannot believe I'm forgetting this. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm really not seeing it here. Wow. Oh my goodness, I just sold. To get back on track, Caleb Artis. I like him ending up at Notre Dame. He's from Queens. No other really reason. Has not been getting that Northeast Big Ten presence that I was expecting from schools like Penn State, Ohio State. They really have not been pushing too hard for him. The schools in the SEC, I don't even know if he has an SEC offer, and the schools out west, I doubt, make a play in this recruitment. But I like Caleb Artis ending up in the blue and gold in coming years. Final one, Isaac Ham, strong side defensive end. I think Iowa, Wisconsin, Notre Dame, Michigan are all vying here for him. I think he'll end up going to Iowa or Wisconsin, but I think Notre Dame's a third, and he worked very hard for Notre Dame offer, getting his grades up. He was very happy with that, so I would not be shocked if he ends up in the blue and gold. Thank you guys for watching. 16-minute video. I appreciate it. Had to hurry it up. I'd love to talk more about each prospect. I'll do more research, of course. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in another episode, which will most likely be the final election results with our special guest, James Banton.